If you've ever had thoughts like this, I can't play this music, it's too hard. Or maybe this, I don't understand how to do anything. What's wrong with me? Or maybe you practice really hard, but you're not making any progress no matter how hard you try. Then this video is for you. Today we are going to talk about how to practice effectively and efficiently. We are often told we need to practice, but we are not told how to do so. And if you're like me, you may not have a lot of time either, so there's no time to waste. Let's get started. The first thing you need is a kind and patient attitude. It can be easy to become frustrated with ourselves or with the music when something isn't going right. Allowing these feelings to consume us only slows down our progress and makes us feel bad about ourselves or the music. Instead, remember that you are working towards progress, not perfection, and that learning to practice is its own skill that will take time to master. This is not a race, so focus on small achievements rather than overwhelming goals. The next thing you need are the tools that will help you make those achievements. These tools include your music and a pencil to mark any mistakes, questions, or helpful tips necessary. You will also need a tuner, metronome, and recording device, all of which are accessible for free on any smartphone or computer with a microphone. A tuner helps us by telling us whether we are playing sharp, flat, or in tune. This is useful because it can also point out underlying air support, finger technique, or embouchure issues that contribute to us playing out of tune. A metronome, if used correctly, helps us by keeping a steady beat through which we can practice rhythms and tempos. Identifying what the time signature is and how it works is an important part of this process, so make sure you understand the rhythms before placing them with a metronome. Finally, we need a recording device. Why? Because our brains can only hold so much information at one time. Inevitably, this means we will not always hear or remember mistakes that were made when practicing. By recording ourselves, we can go back and listen to ourselves so that we can identify otherwise unknown or forgotten issues. So we have our tools, now what do? We need to implement a basic structure to our practice session so we have something off of which we can build. Always, always, always start with some type of warm-up. Trust me, it makes a huge difference on how the rest of your practicing will go. I suggest starting with long tones, for which there are many different exercises, and then moving into your scales and arpeggios. Scales and arpeggios are the building blocks upon which all of music is built. By practicing these first, you are better prepared to learn your music faster and easier. Does this sound boring to you? Make it fun! I enjoy putting on various backing tracks when doing these exercises to help me hone my ears and focus, as there is a new element introduced to keep me from getting bored. It can sound something like this. After your warm-up, practice any musical or technical exercise that has been assigned to you. In other words, practicing your étude. Étude is simply the French word for study. In these exercises, there is a specific skill or set of skills that it is having you practice. These skills are similar to what you will find in your music, so improving these aspects will increase the ease and speed at which you learn even the most difficult pieces of music. Now we're going to move into your actual music. The first thing you need to do is identify the title of the piece, if there is one. Quite often, the title can tell us a lot about the piece, such as style, structure, and more. After this, it is important to define any terms with which you are unfamiliar. Everything written in your music is some sort of instruction you are supposed to follow. You cannot learn the music properly if you do not know what the instructions are. If you do not know the meaning of a word, simply go to a search engine such as Google and type define, insert word here. Sometimes it may be useful to type define word in music, as often the words are in different languages and can have slight variances depending on the context in which the word is located. For example, we can type define schnell to get its definition, which includes quick and lively. This tells us that this piece will be performed at a quick and lively tempo. The next thing that is important to identify is the time signature of the piece. A time signature refers to the two numbers, or the letter C or the C with a line through it, that are stacked like fractions at the beginning of the music. Without correctly identifying the time signature, there is no way of knowing for sure whether our rhythms and tempos are correct. The last thing we need to observe before playing the piece is the key signature. Similarly to the time signature, you will not know for sure if you are playing the correct notes if you do not know the key signature. It may be useful to say the key signature aloud and, if known, what keys the piece is written. This allows us to identify what scales and arpeggios will be found in the music, thus making the music learning process easier and faster. Now that we are ready to play the piece, it is important to break the music down into small sections at slower tempos before attempting to play the whole thing repeatedly. These sections could be as small as one measure, or even merely a few notes. By combining these sections with the use of a slow tempo, we ensure that we are not only learning the notes and rhythms, but also making sure we use proper technique with good tone at the same time. Gradually, usually about 4 numbers on the metronome at a time, you can increase the tempo until you reach the desired speed for that practice session. After improving these small sections, play them in context with the music again so that you can practice the music as written, as a cohesive unit. If there is anything you cannot figure out when practicing, mark the spot or question in pencil and ask for help. You are not expected to know absolutely everything, so reach out for assistance as needed. You can do anything you want with the right approach. Hopefully, these tips will assist you in becoming a more effective and efficient practicer. As always, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and make good decisions. Bye for now.